I'm so glad Gore invented the internet. Okay, how long was it until your first? Oh, I just answered that, didn't I? How much was your out-of-pocket expenses before your first check? None, because I made an offer to a realtor that got accepted, then I flipped it. In a sandwich lease situation, if it becomes evident that I made a mistake in buying this property, can I easily get out of this deal with the seller? The answer is yes. Am I guaranteeing the debt? The answer is no. Your entity, however, is signing on a lease, which in effect guarantees the debt. But what do you think the seller's going to do if you just tell them, I want out of this thing? They're going to say, okay, let me lease back. Do they sue your entity? Yeah. And what should be in your entity? Air. So worst case, you give them all the air that's in your entity and go do another one. Can Scott give us a list of common objections and answers? Yeah, when we get to it. You don't have to, they're all in the book. But we will talk about that more. Why do we tell the seller they can approve the tenant buyer? Because that's the right thing to do, because we're putting somebody in their house. Don't you think they ought to have some say-so in it? I do. But the good news is, they don't care. Scott, how many times have you actually had the seller give you any crap about tenant buyers you want to put in their houses? Not one time. Not one. How about you, John? You actually had one, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yes, we've had one. But in most cases, no. But our attorney actually advised us the more we can do, put it on the seller, the better. Because if the seller has looked at everything and agreed, yes, I agree to put this person in my property, if we have to go to court for some reason, it is looking better.
Yeah, which then also comes down to the documentation that we provided to you in this course.
Yeah.
That I didn't just pull out of my butt. Attorneys are involved in this stuff. It's my job to help protect you, and we're doing that for you. And of course, the more you get documented about what you disclose, and the more they sign off on it, the less problems you're ever going to have. And the next question was, would you do the same thing with owner financing in Texas? Yes. Look, if I was signing my contract, I believe the person that is on the receiving end of that has the right to approve whoever I'm putting in their house, whether it be a sale or whether it be a lease purchase. Can I get away by not doing that? Most certainly. However, the more I try to slime by the seller, the more problems I may have later because I didn't clearly disclose and let them approve everything. Trust me when I tell you, they're going to approve it if you approve it, because they don't start getting payments until somebody is on the other end making those payments, and they know that. All right, guys, we got to get to work. Got a lot more to cover. Now we're going to talk about pre-screening deals. And Scott, I want you and John and Stephanie to stand by here now because I really want some input on this. And during the pre-screening, Scott, I actually want to talk about some real deals, so I hope we get them separated back there. All right, on page 42. Well, first of all, I'm going to pass around for questions. Do we have questions in the audience? Questions? Is that a hand back there? Hey, John, I forgot to ask you, you get a pension from the factory? Look at that, something to fall back on, huh? Wow. Okay. All right, I'll call on you here. Let me get through this exercise first.
Got two quick questions, Ron.
Yes,
should we put our seller capture webpage address on the ads, classified ads?
I didn't understand.
The capture page, when you do a website with the information for sellers. If we do an ad,
saying, should you put phone number and email address on your ads?
Website address, the capture page.
I would put both on all ads. Okay. And let the consumer respond the way they want to respond. It may surprise some of you young folks that some of us older generation would much rather pick up the phone and go to the internet to do anything. Okay. And I'm going to tell you, in the world of marketing where I live, we get surprises like that all the time. Let the consumer respond the way they want to respond. Don't try to force it down their throat. The younger generation just can't believe that somebody would actually be on the phone, or that actually somebody would put something in an envelope and mail it. The older generation just can't believe that the younger generation can get through life without not even ever having a checkbook or put a postage stamp on an envelope in their life and text everything they do. So we have a big gap here, right? Let the consumer decide.
Right. And also, if I get a person or VA to actually physically go to the property to collect the contracts, how much would you pay somebody like that?
Frankly, you're paying them by the minute anyway, so I'd probably give them a couple, maybe $250 for everyone they brought back to me. I can tell you right now that'll light up any VA's life. I mean, absolutely light them up. Okay? Anybody else? Up here up front here. Run, John. Run, John, run.
Yeah, but a quick question. In land trusts, when you put a property in land trust and you sell it, are you paying taxes on this?
Whenever you transfer a title to a property, somebody's paying taxes, and that somebody would be the seller. So remember, I'm only putting a property into a land trust if I'm taking title to it. Land trust is totally irrelevant to lease options. Right? So if I buy it from the seller and it is a taxable event to the seller pays taxes. However, most of them you buy or occupied, they don't have any taxes to pay. If I put it in a land trust and I sell my land trust for more than what I pay for the property, then I got to pay taxes. Yeah.
Thank you.
Uncle Sam prefers to get paid, and that's short-term capital gain if you do it first year. Which is why I try to encourage people to not sell it as fast as they get it. Yes, ma'am.
This is relating to when you actually buy it also. But when you were just saying, if you put the contract on something, it should be with your entity that has nothing in it. If you do decide to buy it, to take the deed, do you buy it with something with one entity and then transfer it to your other entities?
Very good question. Okay. The question was very simply, what entity do I buy in if I put it under contract with an entity that owns air? All right. Let me make sure everybody understands this. You all should have an LLC that owns nothing. Possibly a bank account, but not even much in that. You all should have an LLC that owns nothing. And use that LLC as the buyer on your lease option agreements. And then if you decide you want to take title to it, remember, any agreement that you create is assignable. You don't need anybody's permission. It's already built into all the agreements. So you can assign it from that LLC to a land trust if you want to take title to it. Is the way I suggest you do it, okay? Except in Pennsylvania. So let's say I put it under contract to lease purchase it in an LLC, then later decide I want to get the deed, and just close it in a land trust. I don't need the seller's permission. It's already built in the contract. Just tell the attorney, here's how I'm taking title in a land trust. Or if you want to take it into another LLC, that's okay, but I prefer to have one house, one land trust. Eggs all out of one basket. See me in business management. That's as deep as I'm getting on that one right now. Okay. My question. Yeah. Okay, by the way, guys, Lee Phillips. Just do a webinar, I think. Anytime you get a chance to tune in to Lee Phillips' webinar, do it, because he's the LLC expert. You'll learn some stuff from Lee Phillips. You never dream. A lot of people who do an LLC is just totally wrong. They don't never get attacked. It doesn't really matter. But if you don't do the right stuff with your LLC and you do get attacked, you might have some surprises coming. Yes?
Ron, when do you want to use a personal property trust?
When do I use a personal property trust?
When should you, in that case?
Whenever you want to have personal property in an entity that you don't want the world to know about. For example, your bank account. You could have your bank account in a personal property trust. You could have your vehicle in your boat. You could have your stocks in a personal property trust. Personal property by its nature should tell you what's in the trust. Your land trust or personal property trust. By the way, guys, Lee Phillips will be at the business management bootcamp.
Yeah, does the buyer ever ask about part of the assignment fee going towards the purchase price?
Yes, we're going to cover that. That's a very good question. That's something we learned in our process. One more thing. Before I forget it. Nikki, did you bring a form to put the people in the mastermind meeting that aren't in it yet? Okay, get it. Guys, we've got a mastermind meeting coming up in Jacksonville in June. It's free to all bootcamp grads and to all masters. And Lee Phillips will also be at that. on the third day. And I don't remember the days, but I think it's on the schedule back there. Yes?
Yes, Ron. Concerning the LLC, and my question goes back to equity trust and my ROT. I want to acquire the property in that LLC.
Yeah.
How am I going to do that? I only have air in there when the LLC is actually associated with my ROT.
Okay. I can tell you this much. After I just had conversations with Dick Dessich, the owner of Equity Trust, the IRS is looking at these Roth deals now, especially when they involve a Roth owning an LLC, because they're looking for money being hidden and laundered. So all I can tell you right now is you better get some advice from Equity Trust on how best to do that. And if your Roth is going to own an LLC, you better darn sure not be anything anywhere near the LLC. In other words, you can't even be the manager of that LLC if that Roth owns it. Nothing wrong with Roth owning an LLC, but you got to get out of it. And you darn sure can't. Well, the Roth will be the member of the LLC, but you can't. You should not be involved with it. I just had to make some strategic moves on my own. Can we wait till business management to talk any more about that, please? I got a lot of stuff covered, and I'm moving on. Okay, page 42. Pre-screening pretty houses. And this is the separation point between getting deals done and not getting deals done. This is the difference between making a bunch of money or no money, or maybe even a very little money when, even a blind hog dig up enough acorns, and pretty soon it gets some meat out of them. And you'll do the same thing. Pretty soon, if you got to generate enough leads, sometimes the deal's just so good it's going to slap you in the face and you can't turn your back on it. But the truth is, most people waste a lot of money because they just haven't taken time to learn pre-screening stuff. And as I think John or Stephanie mentioned earlier, a lot of the deals that people throw away shouldn't be thrown away. That's why you need somebody by your side to check all of them. Check all of them. We want all the property information sheets as long as they're completed. If they're not completed, in other words, if there's no mortgage information on it, we don't want it. If somebody has to check off yes or no, they'll at least purchase it. We don't want it, and we're going to train you that very quickly. But we want all of them because we see things that you don't see. There are 5 things that you must know on all these sheets. So let's get out the property information sheet, which I think I just passed in the book. What page was it on? I know it passed. Page 28. Take a look at your property information sheet on page 28. You'll notice the stars on there. All right. For those of you who were on the call, you know that we got to have stars filled in. And if the stars aren't filled in, you don't have enough information to pre-screen your prospect. The stars must be filled in. Plus, down there in the middle, in the 3 blocks where the script is now, we must have the answers to the questions, yes or no. The first question, either in the middle section or the section to the right, must have a yes or no circle if it's applicable. For example, if the house is free and clear, which you will know by asking the seller, won't you? Yes? All right, look at the block on the right. It says, if the house is free and clear. That means if it's free and clear, that block applies. And you ask the following question, or your VA does. Will you consider taking monthly payments for your equity? Yes or no? One of those must be circled. If one of those is not circled, your VA needs more training, or you do. One of them must be circled if it's free and clear. No exceptions if it's free and clear. Okay? Now, if the answer is no, it says right underneath that, would you consider a lease purchase making us responsible for all of your repairs? So, real simply, if the answer is no, I won't owner finance, and no, I won't lease purchase, what have you just discovered? You have a suspect. You're done. Do you know you don't even need to know the rest of the crap down at the bottom? Now, your VA is going to get all that crap filled in anyway.